See and hear me at Radio Shack.
The people of Israel have known much tragedy. Over and over again, they have sent their sons and daughters off to war. Even when there was no war, they have known the shock in the middle of an ordinary day of a bomb blast or a machine gun opening fire. But one thing they have never known, not until last night. Terrence Smith reports this morning's cover story.
It was a jubilant rally. 100,000 people in Tel Aviv Central Square in celebration of peace. There were speeches and songs and a sense that the peace that has eluded Israel for so long might actually be possible. But it ended in chaos, with Yitzhak Rabin, the soldier and statesman who had led Israel down the road towards that peace, cut down by a fellow Israeli. And with this death came the end of innocence for Israel, a land that has known war, but never in its 47-year modern history, assassination of its political leaders.
I'm really stunned at what happened. I don't think, I was never able to think that something like this would come to Israel.
Hopefully today.
But Yitzhak Rabin had thought about it and warned the world as recently as 6 weeks ago, when he was at the White House to celebrate a new agreement with the Palestinians.
If all the partners to the peacemaking do not unite against the evil angels of death by terrorism, all that will remain of this ceremony are color snapshots, empty mementos. Rivers of hatred will overflow again and swamp the Middle East. We, gentlemen, will not permit terrorism to defeat peace. We will not allow it.
I'm sure the real wish on the last minute of his life was that the peace process will be continued with full sails, with full force, with full participation.
Hours after the assassination, Foreign Minister and now acting Prime Minister Shimon Peres recalled Rabin's last moments on the stage at the rally.
It was the first time in his life that he has agreed to sing a song. He usually said, "I'm not a singer." Tonight, he participated in singing the song of peace. Before it, we were given the words of the song, and he put it in his pocket. The bullet hit the song together with his body. You can tore a song, you can hit a body. You cannot kill. The noble and great idea of peace.
No one knew more about war and peace than Yitzhak Rabin. Born in Jerusalem, he was Israel's first native-born prime minister. Rabin joined the Palmach, the Jewish underground forces. He was a young commander in Israel's War of Independence in 1948 and had become chief of staff by 1967, when Israel triumphed against the combined Arab armies.
None of us expected the military results of the Six-Day War the way that they were achieved.
Later, as defense minister, Rabin showed his hard edge when he put down the Palestinian revolt in the occupied territories, ordering his soldiers, in his words, to break bones.
Violence and terror, they'll achieve nothing but more suffering to themselves.
Rabin served 2 terms as prime minister, but it was his military record that gave him the credentials to make peace. Israelis trusted this warrior, even in 1993, as he shook the hand that had led the enemy for so long.
We who have come from a land where parents buried their children, we who have fought against you, the Palestinians, we say to you today, in a loud and a clear voice, enough of blood and tears. Enough!
The peace accord they signed that day led to another stage in Oslo, where they shared the Nobel Peace Prize. In person, Rabin was a chain-smoking, Scotch-drinking former soldier. He relaxed with a tennis game that was more competitive than skilled, and he approached his public role with a sardonic humor.
First, the good news. I'm the last speaker.
But he knew history, especially when he was living it.
Take a look at this stage. The King of Jordan, the President of Egypt, Chairman Arafat, and us, the Prime Minister and the Foreign Minister of Israel, on one platform with the President of the United States. Please, take a good, hard look. The sight you see before you at this moment was impossible, was unthinkable just 3 years ago. Only poets dreamt of it.
The scene in Tel Aviv last night was also the stuff of dreams, until it turned into a nightmare. When it was over, Shimon Peres, Rabin's longtime rival and now his successor, promised that the peace process would continue.
You can kill a person. You can bring an end to life. You cannot kill an idea. And Yitzhak went away while his idea was in full life. And so it will remain, and so we shall remember him.
Over the last 150 years, all kinds of companies that said they'd be there when you needed them didn't stand up to their promises. That's life. Our policy of thoughtful, prudent investing has kept us, well, a pillar of strength for the last 150 years. That's New York Life, the company you keep.
Hertz is giving away double frequent flyer miles?
Exactly.
Let me get this straight. You got this great car from Hertz and double frequent flyer miles.
Exactly.
You're not going to stop that, are you?
You mean our Hertz car for the weekend is only $25 a day?
Exactly.
With free unlimited mileage and Hertz service?
Exactly.
What else could we ask for?
Some marshmallows?
Hertz, only $25 a day. Marshmallows not included. I am a fiber scientist. DuPont created the synthetic fiber industry. We have built thousands of different shapes of fibers, clothing that feels better in the heat. DuPont Coolmax in the cold. DuPont Thermostat. It's important to make them better. We are just now learning how to make synthetic fibers that look and feel like wool, yet still can be washed in a washing machine. If there's no law in physics between me and my goal, I can get there. DuPont.
In the next half hour of Sunday morning, the beautiful voice of Grace Bumbry.
Johnny Benson, Carl Petty, Dale Jarrett, and Ernie Irvan race in the Grand Nationals Grand Finale. The Jiffy Lube Miami 300 Sunday on CBS.
Based on Sidney Sheldon's gripping bestseller,
Get security.
CBS presents the powerful tale of three brilliant doctors.
Think a pretty face and a bedside manner is going to help?
Tested by fate, love, and controversy.
You want to go to bed with me, Mallory?
Brooke Shields, Vanessa Williams, and Gail O'Grady in Sidney Sheldon's Nothing Lasts Forever tonight.
This is CBS.
Come in from the cold with the instant warmth and the high efficiency of a natural gas fire. It's the best way to make a house a home. Add the beauty of a Lennox fire to your home. When it comes to capturing the warmth and wonder of a wood fire, no one does it better than Lennox. The Lennox fire is so natural, it's virtually undistinguishable from a wood fire. And because it's natural gas, it's much cleaner than wood and more convenient to use. Don't let winter catch you unprepared. For a name you can trust, see your independent Lennox dealer today. Natural gas hearth products, it doesn't get any easier.
The Republicans cut my Medicare.
They never listen to us.
I don't like what Newt Gingrich is doing.
When the Republican extremists cut $270 billion from Medicare, they didn't listen to Oregonians.
Ron Wyden.
He's a fighter.
He listens to us.
20 years ago, Ron Wyden fought the shady insurance companies for seniors. He's still fighting against Republican cuts in Medicare. Ron Wyden, he'll work with anybody to save our Medicare, but he'll fight anyone who tries to cut it.
When reflecting upon your life, you'll find that what was hip, what was square, what was in, out, or far out never really mattered. You have what really matters: love, happiness, and your health. To protect these things, you need a health plan with flexible benefits, top-rated hospitals and physicians, and a medical advice line. With Providence Good Health Plan, you learn to take care of not only your health, but your life, too.
Mike Donahue, News Center 6.
It's Sunday morning on CBS, and here again is Charles Osgood.
John Leonard joins us now. Good morning, John.
Good morning, Charles. After Fritz Lang, Alfred Hitchcock, and Brian De Palma, after Basic Instinct and Silence of the Lambs, after American Psycho, and dozens of television movies in which babysitters and baby dolls, tattooed redheads and night shift nurses, anchor women and prostitutes are stalked in high schools and single bars and parking garages and hurled from skyscrapers and turned into fashion statements. After all this wretched excess, why do I pile on with another sermon on serial killing for fun and profit? Because the culture is obsessed, and I am a chameleon of the culture. Because I had no sooner crossed the street from 7 than I found myself staring at Copycat.
9 out of 10 serial killers are white males, aged 20 to 35, just like these.
In Copycat, Sigourney Weaver is a forensic psychologist who can read the minds of serial killers.
The FBI estimates that there could be as many as 35 serial killers cruising for victims even as I speak.
One of them, Harry Connick Jr., takes offense. At least he doesn't sing. So traumatized is Sigourney, she refuses ever again to leave her fancy San Francisco apartment.
There's a serial killer out there who strangled 3 women. He's going to do it again.
But she will be interrupted in her book writing, pill popping, brandy swilling, and internet computer games by Holly Hunter.
Would you work with us on this?
You're kidding, right?
No, ma'am.
Like this
A
one.
police detective who needs her help tracking down another serial killer.
It's the Boston Strangler.
He's imitating Albert DeSalvo's crime scene right down to the kinky little details.
This one, like a plagiarist, is copying the golden oldies of the Boston and Hillside Stranglers, Jeffrey Dahmer, and Ted Bundy, and Son of Sam.
The body found near a no dumping sign?
Yes.
Like this? He switched. From DeSalvo to Bianchi and Buono, the Hillside Strangler, 2 men, 2 kinds of sperm. Very witty, our guy.
2 lurid hours later, everybody's almost dead. Copycat is as slick as a fashion magazine, as glossy as a car commercial, as sick as porn, and as gaudy and shallow as cyberspace. Aside from a terrific performance by Weaver, who is to agoraphobia what Melville was to Wales, its only excuse for being is the eagerness of millions of us to see 2 of our favorite actresses shot and hanged. Compared to the pulp mind of Copycat, Silence of the Lambs was almost literature. But if it's literature we long for, as well as serial killers, why not read the real thing? Joyce Carol Oates has just published her 25th novel. Zombie is written entirely from the point of view of a 31-year-old serial killer named Quentin. It will remind you less of American Psycho than of Doris Lessing's The Fifth Child, or Dostoevsky's Notes from the Underground, or Gogol's Diary of a Madman. There's nothing yuppie about Quentin. He's his own garbage sack of junk food and junk ideas, of black holes and Ken dolls, of Taco Bell beef burritos and dark matter in an expanding universe, of Fruit Loops, Evian water, MTV, and DNA. Time, he says, is a tapeworm jammed inside you. All he wants is a zombie to love and obey him. To get one, he will abduct and lobotomize young boys with an ice pick. There are echoes in the novel of Bosnia and Rwanda and scientific experiments on animals and human beings. But mostly, Zombie is about a loveless evil beyond parenting or social work. Joyce Carol Oates knows perfectly well that most of our violence happens because of family, poverty, race, or religion. But she's a chameleon, too. If the culture insists on a boogeyman, Oates will wear its mask and scales. The difference between pulp and literature is the difference between voyeuristic thrill and appalled recognition.
Who says the world is changing? Stars have always been wished on. Campfires have always been sung around. And there's never been anything better on a stick than a perfectly roasted Oscar Mayer hot dog. Today, there's no name parents trust more. Quality beef, no fillers. Because the best things will never change. Shouldn't your kids grow up with Oscar Mayer?
Band. The caffeine removed, the spirit untouched. Made from 100% Colombian beans, the richest coffee in the world. Naturally decaffeinated, U-Band. Taste this decaffeinated and you will taste the spirit of coffee.
Introducing a towering achievement. Its document handler resets originals. An auto stacker gathers collated sets all by itself. An electronic brain even monitors image quality. The new Meta DC6090 has the technology to get things done, whether you're there or not. Extension cords not included. Call 1-800-ABC-META.
5 years ago, did you imagine we'd be doing this one day?
How could I? It took you 3 weeks to call me back.
It was a test. We'd like to get married.
How did I do?
On the trail of a new killer disease, America's top medical detectives search the jungle for answers in a race against time.
It doesn't look like any one thing
It looks like many things at different stages.
The mystery of the cursed fever. What causes it? Could it hit here at home? We'll have a full report Monday on the CBS Evening News.
By amazing grace, we mean the wonderful singer Grace Bumbry. But we mean something else, too. The story Martha Teichner is about to tell us begins in an alpine city of Austria that is sacred to the memory of a very great composer. And what can an American bring to such a place as that? Her own memories in the form of music.
During the festival season in Salzburg, music spills from open windows and catches the wind the way it must have when Mozart was a boy here more than 200 years ago. There is no more familiar voice at the Salzburg Festival than Grace Bumbry's. But what she brought to the Austrian festival this year, a program of spirituals and gospel music, was as big a first for Salzburg as it was for her. Not just a first, but a long-standing mission.
Now, the spiritual at one point had fallen by the wayside. And I didn't want that to happen, because it's me. It's what I come from. It's my background. It's what formed me, and what brought my voice to this wonderful place it now is.
How do you want lights clear? Clear, very clear. Mm-hmm.
The place, the very stage on which Grace Bumbry made her Salzburg debut 30 years ago, is where her spiritual singers would perform their first concert. Jonathan Morris, her longtime accompanist, directs the choir.
There's no hiding place down there.
Down there.
There's no hiding place down there.
It has been said that American music was born with these religious songs.
You guys run. Oh.
What better place to showcase them than Mozart's birthplace, where immortalizing his music is practically a religion. Just to put all of this in context, Mozart died in 1791. What is extraordinary to consider is the fact that he was writing his music at exactly the same time the spirituals were starting to be sung by slaves in the American South.
The spiritual was put together by people who worked. Say, for example, you are plowing a field, and it's hot. So hot you can't believe it. And so the only thing you can think of is, Lord, let this day pass. Somebody else will say, and let it pass for me. You see a situation, and it becomes a song. Oh, sinner, why don't you answer? Somebody's knocking at your door. I want our rehearsals done with that feeling, the uplifting feeling, the feeling of friendship and loving each other and caring about each other. And if you have to sing from your deepest, deepest feelings. 3, 4. Come on, sister, help me to pray. Tell me my Lord done pass this way. You got it?
Out of 400 singers auditioned, 26 were picked. A group in New York City that included opera-trained professionals.
Help me to pray. Tell me my Lord done pass this way.
The rest, mainly from Jackson, Mississippi, sing in their churches or in college choirs. Jonathan Morris shuttled back and forth for rehearsals.
Sing it, and everybody, and
what all the singers share is the fact that this music is central to their lives. Teresa Ham-Smith studied for opera but is proud to sing the music of Black America.
Oh, it's one thing to do it at home in your church, but it's something else to present it to the world. It pays great homage to the people who started the music. You know, our foremothers and fathers who sang this music so long ago.
The singers cannot separate the faces of their parents and grandparents from what makes spirituals spiritual to them. They are songs not just to be sung, but to be taken personally.
What do you mean by do, Lord, remember me? When I'm in trouble, do remember me. When I'm dying, do remember me. Oh, I see. It's a plead. So you have to put the plead in the right place. Do, Lord, do remember me. Oh, do, Lord, do remember me. You have to know where they fall. And I've heard it all my life, you know. I've heard, you know, my mother and my father when we had no money. And I knew what they meant. I knew what they meant.
Why does it fill you now?
Oh, my boy. It made me. It made me. It made me what I am. Without it, I wouldn't be me. I'd be lost. I'd be lost.
If spirituals are songs of hope, the hope of deliverance from oppression, gospel is the good news that deliverance has come. Grace Bumbry never liked gospel music until she started putting together this program. And suddenly she, too, heard her own story.
Like, for instance, there's one song they sing, I've come this far by faith. I mean, that says a lot to me. You see, you have to have faith in order to get this far. I believe, I believe, I believe. For me, that's imperative.
The Salzburg Festival invited Grace Bumbry's Black Musical Heritage Vocal Ensemble to perform without ever having heard them, just because of her reputation as an opera singer.
Let me smile. Yeah.
For me to have been able to give them this opportunity is, well, it's like having given birth to 26 children. No, it's a wonderful feeling.
Y'all just sing my song. Just sing it pretty.
All right.
As two groups of singers turned into one family, they were filled with pride and excitement and pre-concert jitters.
Oh, wow, lots of poof. That is seriously poof.
That's serious.
Right? Everyone in their costumes. It's going to be phenomenal. I can't wait. It really is. And I think they must be smiling at us in heaven when they hear those sounds and see the faces and the whole product put together.
Perform next at Carnegie Hall in February. Grace Bumbry's dream was to create a group that could sing the music she loves, the way she feels it. To find singers whose concerts would be a tribute to what that music means. It's hard to see the tears rolling down Russell St. John's face, but they're there.
The
Come in from the cold with the instant warmth and the high efficiency of a natural gas fire. It's the best way to make a house a home. The Osborne Bay Vista. Enjoy the beauty of an Osborne gas flame from just about anywhere in the room. Whether you choose an insert, a freestanding stove, or new construction model, the Osborne one-piece bay window provides a captivating view of the realistic flames and glowing embers. For heater-rated, high-efficiency Osborne craftsmanship, see one of these authorized dealers today. Natural gas hearth products. It doesn't get any easier.
Imagine reinventing the way people look at cars once again. The all-new 1996 Mercury Sable. The best-selling Mercury's been totally reinvented. Good-looking outside with good thinking inside. Imagine it's this affordable. Sable gives you more standard horsepower than Camry or Accord, and they can't match Sable's room or style. Everything about it has changed, except the value.
Imagine yourself in a Mercury now.
At your Mercury dealer.
Yes, we have motorhomes, and YES means year-end sale. Yes, we're liquidating nearly $12 million of used RV inventory before the end of the year. Yes, you can trade in anything, paid for or not. Yes, you can choose from nearly 450 motorhomes and trailers at Guarantee in Junction City. Yes, there's always to finance your RV at Guarantee. And yes, for motorhomes, plus trailers and vans too, it's only at Guarantee, your low-overhead GM discount dealer in Junction City.
There is a new kind of richness born of the sun. From high atop the mountains of Colombia, richness with flavor so rare, you will find it only in Folgers' new Colombian Supreme. A Colombian coffee like no other. Colombian beans, expertly roasted and ground, make this Colombian even darker than the leading Colombian brand. Dark, yet not bitter. Folgers Colombian Supreme captures Colombia. And will capture you too.
Did anybody ever tell you about the Common Ground Fair? Well, it's time somebody did, and I know just the fellow to do it. From Tim Sample now, here is a postcard from Maine.
What kind of people live up here in the state of Maine? Well, we've always had our hardscrabble farmers and cracker barrel philosophers, but lately they've been joined by a whole other group. Yuppies and hippies and back to the landers and land developers and homeschoolers and holistic healers and a whole bunch of other folks that would squirm out of any category you try to put them into. Is there any place where all these lives intersect? Yeah, at the Common Ground Fair.
Well, the Common Ground Fair is a homesick fair.
Newt Cochran's been farming in Maine all his life, and he's been teaching kids about it at the Common Ground Fair since it began. He goes to the county fairs, too, but he likes this fair the best.
There's so much different atmosphere at the Common Ground Fair than there is at a county fair, because the county fair, and all they're out is for the money. Here the kids are relaxed, they're running around, they're seeing the animals, they're learning, they're writing in the scrapbook, back to study. It's a real fine thing. Rusty. Rusty. Rusty? Come up here.
The Maine Organic Farmers and Gardeners Association has been running the Common Ground Fair for almost 20 years. And every year, it just gets more popular.
How'd it come? See how? Oh, neat!
More than 55,000 people showed up during 3 days at the Windsor Fairgrounds this year. And there seemed to be plenty of room for everyone.
By the homesteaders, per se homesteaders, but they're just back to the ground people. And they're here, the other folks are here because there's something they would like to do, but just don't dare to quite do it, I believe.
There are herb farmers and sheep farmers, weavers and spinners and beekeepers.
This has the honeycomb in it, see? That's just like straight from the beehive.
There are granite splitters, blacksmiths, and timber framers, makers of pitchforks and barrels, dog sleds and canoes, folks who raise donkeys and llamas and pigs.
It's just people who really appreciate, self-sustaining agriculture. And
There's Al Ginsberg, who grew up in New York City, but wanted his kids to grow up in Maine.
They're really delicious, though. You should try, like, the strawberry.
And Suzanne Grossneck, who's been a beekeeper for 20 years. She's from Dayton, Ohio.
Fun. People like to take out a piece of the cone. My friends from Maine kept saying, come to Maine, it's beautiful, the people are nice, the land is gorgeous, and we did it.
Fricassee of peregrine falcon would suffice, but they're small, give me two.
There's even a guy who calls himself the Northwoods Balladeer. He emerges from his Northwoods cabin every year to sing at the Common Ground Fair.
I hear an August deer is mighty tasty. Wood turtles make a soup like no other.
Everyone's welcome. You can check your politics at the gate.
One lightly seared and goes well with a brace of sea plovers. I'll be frying mountain lions.
Nobody's getting rich at the Common Ground Fair, and that's just fine. Nobody's here for the money, and nobody's much worried about time.
I could plow in 3 days what it'll probably take a tractor to do in a matter of an hour or so, It's a lot slower, and there's a lot more work involved, But for my style of doing things, I'm slow, I'm deliberative, and that's the kind of thing I like to do, I like to do it that way.
Nerf Sabatine has a farm in Whitefield, Maine. He just likes draft animals, always has. There are certain rules, ground rules, you might say, at the Common Ground Fair. No carnival rides and no loud recorded music. There's no cotton candy and no soda except the organic kind. If the kids want something sweet, there's plenty of honey around. They don't even sell coffee on the fairgrounds, although every year there's a pretty lively debate on that score. Another thing in short supply at the Common Ground Fair is litter. John Coyne and his children are volunteers on the cleanup patrol. Are there a lot of people throwing things all over the ground here?
No, most of the trash we've been picking up is old, like from another fair. The people who come to this fair are pretty good about using the receptacles.
Come on, put them in the pen.
But in spite of the rules, or because of them, everyone seems to be having a pretty good time. The manure pitching contest is one of the only competitive events at the fair. You can win a plate, and some people take that pretty seriously.
My brother has 5 of these plates. And I have 2, and I really wanted to kind of get the gap a little closer.
There aren't many new ideas at the Common Ground Fair. No computers, no video cameras, no MTV. But there are a lot of old ideas, like getting back to a simpler way of life and making your own fun.
What are people saying about the new CBS This Morning? The Boston Globe, an excellent newsmaking show. The Detroit Free Press, an opportunity to watch a live show without having to stand outside a picture window. And the New York Daily News. The studio audience wakes up morning. Join the crowd. Watch the new CBS This Morning.
You're on CBS.
Come in from the cold with the instant warmth and the high efficiency of a natural gas fire. It's the best way to make a house a home. Add the beauty of a Lennox fire to your home. When it comes to capturing the warmth and wonder of a wood fire, no one does it better than Lennox. The Lennox fire is so natural, it's virtually undistinguishable from a wood fire. And because it's natural gas, it's much cleaner than wood and more convenient to use. Don't let winter catch you unprepared. For a name you can trust, see your independent Lennox dealer today. Natural gas hearth products, it doesn't get any easier.
Iams understands that the simple act of petting a dog can make people healthier and happier. It's even been suggested that people who own dogs lead longer, fuller lives. Now, knowing what dogs do for you, wouldn't it be nice to do the same for them? You can, by feeding your dog Iams every day. It's more nutritious because its quality ingredients are more digestible. Iams dog food, good for life. From the Iams Company.
Sleep & Air Mattress Factory Store's president makes this promise.
If we can't beat any retailer's price with our Sleep & Air, Simmons, Spring Air, or adjustable bed, your mattress set is free.
Sleep & Air handcrafts mattresses and adjustable beds in our own factory.
Our Sleep & Air electric adjustable beds are luxurious and therapeutic. We make them ourselves in all mattress sizes, types, and price ranges.
Buy from the people who make them. Sleep & Air, the best value every day, the best sleep every night.
Shirley Hancock, News Center 6.
When Sunday morning continues, we'll be talking with Bob Simon in Jerusalem.
When you're selecting mutual funds, we don't recommend throwing darts. Unless, of course, this is what you're throwing at. The Select List, only from Charles Schwab. Culled from the over 350 no-load mutual funds we provide, it's an objective, easy-to-use summary of the historically high performers. For a free trial subscription, call 1-800-5-NO-LOAD. It just may help improve your aim.
At BASF, we don't make the skates, we make them ride smoother. We don't make the car, we make it more colorful. We don't make the shampoo, we make it gentler. We don't make the helmet, we make it more comfortable. At BASF, we don't make a lot of the products you buy, we make a lot of the products you buy better. BASF.
As the official airline of the 1996 Olympic Games, Delta is setting the pace for business travelers with an event of its own, the Around the World Relay. It's a team event, coordinating thousands of flights a day to cities throughout the world. So you can go from one plane to another, one place to another, in record time. Delta Airlines.
It's Sunday morning on CBS, and here again is Charles Osgood.
CBS News correspondent Bob Simon joins us now from Jerusalem. Good morning, Bob.
Good morning, Charles.
Bob, the world is shocked by the assassination of Prime Minister Rabin, but I think especially shocking is the idea that this could have been done by a Jew, by an Israeli. Does that seem particularly shocking there?
Oh, if the world is shocked, Charlie, it's nothing compared to what people are feeling here. The very idea of that, it's never happened in this country, and it makes Israelis feel just ordinary and awful and contemptible. This was the kind of thing that just couldn't happen, shouldn't happen. Prime Minister Rabin wasn't wearing a bulletproof vest last night. If anyone had suggested that he needed to wear a bulletproof vest at a rally in Tel Aviv, people would have laughed. There have been threats. There are always threats. The right-wingers have been making a lot of noise, but I don't think anyone really thought that it could ever happen. And the shock here is not because Rabin is dead. He was 73 years old. He was not exactly a health addict. If he had died a natural death, we would be standing here and talking about the succession, and there are potential successors, and what happens to the peace process, and what happens to the future of Israeli politics, all these, the kinds of things one talks about when a leader passes on. But those conversations aren't even possible in Jerusalem today. People are just, they're so deeply traumatized by what happened, by the fact, as you put it, and people just keep on repeating it and repeating it and repeating it, that an Israeli prime minister was killed by a Jew, and the Jew said he was glad. It is just unthinkable.
You have covered the Middle East for such a long time now, and including the fact that there has been a certain amount of division in Israel itself, people not approving of every part of the peace process as it's gone forward. But To you, does this seem something beyond expectation?
Beyond expectation, yes. We are used to the right-wingers in Israel, particularly the settlers, having very noisy demonstrations, shouting and screaming. When the Israeli army pulled out of the Sinai after the peace treaty with Egypt, there were many noisy demonstrations. But Israeli never opened fire on Israeli soldiers, and Yitzhak Rabin was the commander-in-chief. The idea that an Israeli would do that is something that could have only happened very recently, and the body politic in Israel has been more divided recently because of the withdrawal from the West Bank than it ever has been before. But that it would come to this is something Israelis couldn't have imagined. The right-wing Israelis, the members of the Likud party, were warned. They were told by people in the late Prime Minister Rabin's Labour Party that the rhetoric was getting overheated, that it was getting dangerous, that there were too many fringe elements in Israel that could take the rhetoric seriously. When people get in the streets and shouted, Rabin is a traitor, Rabin is a murderer, well, they were screaming and shouting, it seemed. But some people here knew that there were people who would take this very seriously. There are just enough people on the fringe here to do what happened last night, and that the mainstream right-wingers who tolerated this kind of rhetoric are asking themselves some very, very serious questions today.
Yes, I wonder what position this puts them in now. I mean, are they feeling some guilt about this, do you think?
They won't admit it. The leaders say that, well, of course, nobody is accepting any responsibility for this. It was a fringe lunatic. And indeed, my God, we Americans are used to fringe lunatics. They've destroyed much of what we've treasured most in America. But in Israel, it wasn't just a fringe lunatic. It was somebody who espoused the beliefs of the right wing of Israeli politics.
Bob, is it going to be possible now for Peres to hold the country together and to go forward with the peace process?
That's anybody's guess, Charlie. I think that Israel has just gone into a trauma so deep that it's impossible to tell how they're going to emerge on the other side. Peres will be caretaker prime minister for a while. Then he'll have to face a vote of confidence. Remember, even Rabin had a razor-thin majority. Just one vote in the Knesset kept him as prime minister. Can this be held with Peres? Peres is a very respected man here, but he cannot lead Israel down the road that Rabin led Israel, at least not the same way. Peres has always been known as a man who favored peace. The right-wingers have characterized him as somebody who would sell out Israel. Well, he's not a war hero like Rabin. He's not the man who captured the territories the way Rabin did in 1967, the man who staged the Entebbe raid, the man who was brutal with Palestinians during the Intifada, as Rabin was when he was defense minister. The Israelis knew that Rabin was a tough man, and that if he was saying, we can take this risk, we can withdraw from the West Bank, they at least had to listen. Will they listen to Shimon Peres? Nobody knows.
Bob, President Clinton will be leaving today to go to Jerusalem and will lead the American delegation at the funeral tomorrow. How important is that at this moment?
Oh, it's very important, but I think it's also only to have been expected. If President Clinton hadn't come, I think the Israelis would have been in another state of disbelief. Fortunately, the president is coming, as is President Mubarak of Egypt, who hesitated a while before he accepted this. He has never visited Israel before. He will come to Jerusalem. King Hussein will come to Jerusalem for the first time since he lost Jerusalem in the '67 war. Yasser Arafat, we don't know yet. But what is going to happen here tomorrow will be unprecedented. These Arab leaders in Israeli-held Jerusalem for the very first time. Of course, from a security point of view, it will be an unspeakable nightmare.
Bob Simon in Jerusalem, thank you.
A hologram captures all the information about light. You can see different things from different angles. Depth, the 3D effect. Help me, Obi-Wan. DuPont makes film that makes holography possible. Everything you can imagine doing with a hologram is sort of fun. In the future, holography could be used in book illustrations that pop to life. Heads-up displays is a way for motorists to save their eyes from fatigue. That kind of everyday problem is really what we do at DuPont. I've never thought anything was impossible.
Mortgage payments, college tuition, career choices. People can get so lost in their day-to-day concerns that they simply avoid planning for their retirement. Unfortunately, that's life.
New York Life has all kinds of life insurance policies to help make sure you enjoy your retirement. We can even help you catch up if you started planning late. That's New York Life, the company you keep.
For years, people have done their thinking on the run. Now they can do their business on the run, thanks to the breakthrough that fits in your pocket. Zorus, the personal digital assistant from Sharp that gives you the freedom to write it, type it, sign it, and fax it anytime, anywhere.
John, hello mate, just got your fax, but you really should get out of the office a bit more.
When was the last time you played in the rain? Let your hair go wild. Flexed your muscles to the world. Stayed up past your bedtime. When was the last time you really had fun in a car? Riviera by Buick. Go ahead, express yourself.
Fouad Ajami, CBS News consultant on the Middle East, who also teaches Middle Eastern Affairs at Johns Hopkins University, joins us now. Good morning, Fouad.
Good morning, Charles.
What was the perception of Yitzhak Rabin among the other countries of the Middle East?
Well, you must understand, I mean, Rabin is this interesting political creature. He recast himself. I mean, this is the great soldier. He became, when he embarked on peace, he had to be sold on it. He had to be sold on it by his foreign minister, Shimon Peres. And in his reluctance about the peace, in that famous reluctance to even shake hands with Yasser Arafat, he embodied Israel's doubts about this new order of things. But, you know, Rabin is a known entity. The King of Jordan is fond of him. The Egyptians have come to know him. Even now, Yasser Arafat has come to understand that this is a formidable enemy, but a fair one. So in a way, it's a brand new order for all these players.
Shimon Peres is better known to them without a military background and without all of that going for him in terms of the acceptance of the Israeli people. Does the passing of Yitzhak Rabin cast some doubt in their minds now as to the stability of the government in Israel and how dependable it's going to be for the future?
I wouldn't think so. I mean, I think that the Israeli political order is a known order. We know assassinations, it's been remarked and over again, assassinations have never been the norm of Israeli politics. It's really the end of the siege in Israel, and that's the interesting thing for Israel and her neighbor, that as Rabin took Israel into this new world, as he told the Israelis, look, the siege is over. You are now a confident country, a wealthy country, a powerful country, a rich country. You can embark on this bold new adventure of creating a new Middle East. So both for the Israelis and for their Arab neighbors, they have to negotiate the terms of a new arrangement, though I think it's fair enough to say that Shimon Peres does not enjoy the same confidence in his own society, and this will, what he will do and how he will strike the new accord remains to be seen. You want to understand one thing about what's been going on in Israel. The peace has a narrow and very slim majority going for it. In the last vote in the Knesset, out of a body of 120 people, the peace only received 61 vote majority. So it's a razor-thin majority, and there is a great division in the land of Israel about whether this new peace and this new order in the Middle East could be trusted.
Because at every step along the way, those who have stepped forward for peace have always put themselves at risk. We saw it happen in Egypt with Anwar Sadat. And is there not a message here to anyone that if you proceed down this path, if you try to bring about an accommodation between these countries, that you can expect to be punished in your own country?
This is the great cautionary tale of peacemaking. We know war is easy. I mean, nations go to war and they create a consensus behind war. Yitzhak Rabin has been struck down in 1981. Anwar Sadat was struck down. Our viewers may not quite, their memory may not quite go that far. In 1951, the grandfather of King Hussein, King Abdullah, was struck down by his own people in the lead piece. You said something about Mahatma Gandhi. Mahatma Gandhi was struck down. Not only was he struck down by a Hindu, because what was his sin? His sin was that he gave away the land to Pakistan, that he betrayed the Hindu people. And I think these young assassins, they appear on the scene, they do God's work, they believe they're right, they believe they have the warrant of patriotism, and they strike, and it's always you're struck down by your own people because there is no consensus because of this great moral anguish and moral division in Israel itself.
And you say a cautionary tale, which means that if you are Yasser Arafat or if you're King Hussein, if you're any of the leaders who have taken part in this process, you know that uneasy lies the head.
Of course, and you have to say, there but for the grace of God go I. It would be very interesting, for example, to look on Monday whether President Mubarak will come from Egypt to Israel. He's never been to Israel. Will this man who's at peace with Israel make the journey to the funeral? I doubt it. What's his excuse? Why won't he come? He will tell the Israelis, look, I have my own fanatics here. If I come to Israel to attend a funeral, I will have to face an assassin's bullet in Egypt itself. So they understand. This fight over Palestine has claimed many, many victims. And the sense of betrayal is always strong among the Arabs when they hit their own leaders, and now for a change among the Israelis.
Fouad Ajami, thank you, sir.
You okay? I don't think I can drive. I think there might be some ligament damage. Oh, come on, quit being a crybaby, all right? Relax. Look, I'm not a crybaby. Do you have any CD? In the glove compartment. Hey, come on, would you move your foot out of my face, come on. If I could move my foot, I'd be driving. Man, I didn't even know you in the game until you fell down and you start screaming, oh, my leg, please, oh, my leg. Gene, you just passed my house. And a lovely house it is. Oh, nice neighborhood, too. I'm glad you guys think this is funny.
Don't panic if the market drops a few points. Don't run for cover every time some economic indicator hiccups. Don't let short-term thinking influence your long-term investments. Buy carefully, sell reluctantly, and do business with a firm that understands that sometimes an investor's greatest asset is patience.
Smith Barney, they make money the old-fashioned way. They earn it.
At Cigna, we care about people who have babies. We care about people who have cancer. We care about companies that make steel and about companies that make bread. We care about people whose lives have been shattered and the people who help pick up the pieces. We care about life and about all that makes life great, or possible, or just better. At Cigna, we care because it is our business to care, and because the more we care, the better our business does. But we also care because, well, because we have babies too. Cigna, a business of caring.
Of wolves and men now. In the last century, when ranching replaced the buffalo in the West, the ranchers decided that man and wolf could not coexist, that the wolf, being a predator, had to be eradicated. And so by the thousands, wolves were killed. But now we have come full circle. In a controversial effort that we told you about last year here on Sunday morning, an effort still bitterly fought even now by the ranchers, the wolf is being reintroduced in the wilds of Idaho and in Yellowstone National Park. We have a progress report now from Anthony Mason.
The snow has arrived in Yellowstone. The crowds of visitors are gone. And the largest wilderness area in the lower 48 states returns to the domain of nature. Listen to the elk's trumpet. Listen. Listen again. Listen to a sound absent from this place for almost 70 years. They are wolves. It was no act of nature that returned the wolf to Yellowstone, but rather an act of government that set in motion the process. The wolves were captured in the wild of the Canadian Rockies in a military-style expedition.
That's correct, Renee, 180. Okay, 4 more people on the M10.
They were whisked to Yellowstone by truck, plane, and mule sled. 14 gray wolves, 3 packs, placed in 3 separate pens. That was last January. They were let go in March.
And we were convinced that if the first few days they stayed here, they'd quickly come to learn this is a great place. This is the best wolf habitat in North America. Boy, you know, the elk have come back.
What irony. Mike Phillips, the project leader for the Yellowstone Wolf Restoration Project, works for the same government agency that at the turn of the century was in charge of killing all the wolves in the park. Now Mike Phillips monitors them and watches them like an anxious father.
And removing all of the predators from the West was a mistake. Didn't need to be done. We can correct that by bringing wolves back to sites like Yellowstone. And I've thought long and hard about what's the value of wolf restoration. And I've concluded more than anything, wolf restoration is a touchstone for measuring our reverence for what we've inherited from our forefathers, and it's a touchstone for measuring our concern for the legacy we leave our children. And we need touchstones.
Since their release, 2 of the 3 packs have done very well. If you look closely at this video shot by park visitor Steve Grote, you can see 1 pack chasing down an elk calf, doing what wolves are supposed to do.
I've been convinced for a long time that if you could have told the wolves in Canada what you were up to, that you were bringing them to this place, that they would have been signing up to come.
There are too many elk in Yellowstone, plenty of buffalo, an abundance of deer. Even with coyote and bears, there aren't enough predators. Mike Phillips hopes the presence of 35,000 elk will keep the wolves from straying outside the park, which is what many ranchers fear.
We can't have wolves killing cows. Wolf restoration is not going to come into the Yellowstone ecosystem and dictate policy. It will fit in like the mule deer fits in, and like the elk fits in, and like the grizzly bear fits in. At times there'll be conflict. Sometimes the conflicts will be real. Sometimes they'll be imagined. And we'll respond to all of those conflicts in a very respectful way.
Shortly after the wolves were released in March, there was conflict. It involved the 3rd pack, the so-called Rose Creek pack, that consisted of a female, wolf number 9, and a male, wolf number 10. That's him, filmed for the Fish and Wildlife Service by Bush Productions. In late April, they were located outside the park, near the town of Red Lodge, Montana.
Saw them both under a tree, doing fine. Kind of close to town, though. We flew then 2 days later, and 10 was dead. He had been shot.
Shot, skinned, and beheaded by Chad McKittrick, according to a witness. It was a violation of the Endangered Species Act. Adding to the Park Service's concern, the wolf's mate was pregnant.
In early May, we were able to determine 9 had given birth to pups, and it was a terrible spot. She was only 3 or 4 miles from Red Lodge. As a matter of fact, you could sit in the parking lot of the Motel 8 and hear her radio signal.
We gotta weigh it or bleed it, I'll get the...
So the decision was made to catch Mom and the pups and bring them back to Yellowstone. Well, they were little bitty guys, and there was 8 of them that she had to feed.
For 6 months, the Fish and Wildlife Service and park rangers were surrogate fathers. Then, in mid-October, the pen was opened. In the meantime, a young male from another pack, wolf number 8, showed up at the Rose Creek pen.
And so we let him go, thinking, wow, this is super. Already, Mom's got a suitor that can help with these pups. And then we go up there today, and everybody's out, everybody's together, playing in the meadow, mousing and doing what wolves do. It couldn't have gone better.
Look at him go. God, that's amazing.
14 wolves have come from Canada. Now there are 22. To reduce inbreeding, Mike Phillips and his team will bring in more wolves this spring. The goal is 100 wolves, 10 packs. And then Yellowstone's mix of animals will be what it was back in 1872, when it became America's first national park.
At BASF, we don't make the cooler. We make it cooler. We don't make the jeans. We make them bluer. We don't make the toys. We make them tougher. We don't make the water scooter. We make it lighter. At BASF, we don't make a lot of the products you buy. We make a lot of the products you buy better. BASF.
When young policyholders come to me, I look at them and think, boy, that was me 15 years ago. I remember very well how quickly things changed for Debbie and me. Marriage, children, our first house. It's exactly why State Farm's family insurance checkups are such a good idea. Your agent helps you put it all in perspective so you can make the right decisions. The way you were 5 years ago is not the way you are today. It's comforting to me when I can say to my policyholders, hey, I've been there.
State Farm is there.
From IBM. See and hear me at Radio Shack.
Who says the world has changed? Summer is still way too short. The first day of school is still way too long. But somehow, it's not so bad when you have your favorite bologna sandwich. Oscar Mayer.
You got bologna? Me too.
Quality beef, no fillers. Shouldn't your kids grow up with Oscar Mayer?
There will be more coverage of developments in Israel throughout the day here on CBS. Later on Face the Nation, with Dan Rather reporting from Israel tonight on the CBS Evening News, and then on 60 Minutes. When our trumpet sounds again next week, we will have a story for you about the worlds of theater and of opera come together in a new play about a legendary diva. We leave you this morning in sight of the Pacific off the coast of the Hawaiian island of Kona. Did I say in sight of the Pacific? Actually, we leave you in the Pacific. Take a deep breath. I'm Charles Osgood. We hope you'll join us here again next Sunday morning. Until then, I'll see you on the radio.
For a printed transcript, send $5 to Sunday Morning Transcript, Box 7, Livingston, New Jersey, 07039. For a video cassette of selected segments of this Sunday morning, call 1-800-242-7747.
CBS News. Have you seen your country today?
On the trail of a new killer disease, America's top medical detectives search the jungle for answers to the mystery of the cursed fever. We'll have a full report Monday.
You mean to say drinking in moderation can help my heart? Yes, that's exactly what we mean to say. And we'll tell you why tonight on 60 Minutes.
It's the one talk every parent fears.
Why don't you just say it, Mother? Are you two having sex? No. Are you?
All new Sybil. Then Nancy Travis could be the perfect boss.
Look, I'll probably be a few minutes. I want you guys to keep working.
Okay, break time. Well, almost perfect. After an all-new Sybil tonight.